So yes, we have discussed on the intake element as well. Now comes the classification of UK universities. Now, what types of universities are available? And that is where I feel students are most confused, because they really don't know which university to go for, because by the look of it, and every university has their specific characteristics which they are famous for. They have certain USPs which they always talk about, but then it becomes confusing for a student that, okay, which one is the best for me, and that gets aligned with my profile and my long-term and long-term objective of being in the country and pursuing my education. So let's just understand about how these universities are classified here in the UK. Okay, as per HESA, again, Higher Education Student Statistics, there are around 165 higher education institutes available in the UK, and they are being classified in different types. So the first type of universities that are available in the UK are called as the ancient universities. Now, these, as the name suggests, these universities are pretty old. They have been incepted during the medieval or the Renaissance time. So the founding year is before 16th century. So these are many hundreds of years old universities. These are the most ancient ones, but that does not mean that they are not, at par with the current teaching quality. These universities are respected throughout the world, and the name of these universities on your CV is just enough. So what I'm talking about is universities like Oxford, Cambridge, St. Andrews in Scotland, University of Edinburgh. These universities also do rank amongst top 50 in the global university ranking. So you can imagine the kind of repute these universities have across the world. So these are the first classification of universities in the UK. Now, the second classification is red brick or civic universities. Now, these universities were established somewhere in the 19th century during World War I. And these universities were established in the major industrial cities of the UK. And the reason they were established because there were a growing demand of university education, and these were majorly placed in the top cities of the UK, and they were focused on the subject areas like science, design, technology, and engineering. And till today, the most attractive quality of these red brick universities are their location, because they are placed right in the middle of these cities. And sometimes, the city roads are passing in the middle of the campus, which is kind of astonishing in its own way. But again, in terms of imparting the highest quality of the education, these universities are most sought after in the international student community. Most students look for, coming and joining these universities for the higher education till date. So there are around 6 universities in the red brick or civic university category. And all of these 6 universities are a part of Russell Group universities. I will come to the Russell Group universities in a bit, but let's just understand that if you want something which is high in ranking, best of the student diversity in terms of international student population and excellent education, I think red brick is your choice. So to name a few of the red brick universities, these are University of Birmingham, University of Bristol, University of Leeds, University of Manchester. So these are under the red brick universities formed during World War I. So somewhere in the early 19th century. Then the third classification is the plate glass universities, or universities, the universities that are formed in 1960s. So between 1960s and 1992, the number of universities those were formed are, are classified under plate glass universities. Now, the best part about these universities are they were constructed keeping in mind the way universities in the US were constructed at that time. So these universities are self-sufficient. They are a unit in themselves. So every possible facility that a student look for, you will find in the very campus. And again, they are quite modern. They are quite experimental in terms of, incorporating new syllabus, new curriculum, new methods of teaching, new ways of handling student administrations. So these universities are quite experimental in their own way, modern in their thought process. And again, being modern doesn't mean they are not imparting that level of education. Some of the plate glass universities are again ranked in the top universities in the world. But all I'm saying is that, the way, the mission and the values, of course, they differ. So these are the universities that are somewhat new and formed between 1960s and 1990s. So some of these universities are University of Essex, University of East Anglia, University of Sussex, University of Warwick. So these are the universities that comes under plate glass universities. So the next classification is new universities or Polytechnics or Metropolitan Universities. So you can, if you come across someone who is talking about Metropolitan Universities or new universities in the UK or Polytechnics one. So these universities, basically, they have evolved from, Polytechnics or further education institutes. So these universities earlier, before 1980s, after some education reforms, they were, upgraded as universities. Earlier, they were used for delivering the vocational courses or further education programs here in the UK. So these are, again, quite new, modern in the approach of teaching and the overall administration. However, they are at par with other ancient or red brick or any civic universities here in the UK. So, but yes, you can, call them as modern universities in the UK. So some of these universities are Cardiff Metropolitan Universities, University of Chichester, then University College Birmingham. So these are the universities that come under metropolitan or new universities in the UK. So these are the major classifications in which the UK universities are divided. Now talking about Russell Group universities. I think any one of you who have ever dreamt to study in the UK, might have come across this term Russell Group universities. You must apply to a Russell Group university or target any Russell Group university. So let's just understand, what are these Russell Group universities? Now, Russell Group University is a consortium of 24 British research-led universities. And these universities are often compared to the Ivy League universities in the US. So you must have heard about Harvard and Stanford in the US. So those are considered as the Ivy League universities. Similarly, when you talk about the most prestigious ones in the UK, these are the Russell Group universities. Now, these universities, they get 2/3 of the research grant that is being allocated by the UK government every year. So that is the reason I told you that these are the research-led universities. And I mean, they are considered as the best of the best amongst the lot. So if you're in the UK and if you aspire to study in the Russell Group University, I think you are in the right direction. I mean, that is the way to get the bestest of the qualification and the great student experience altogether. And the good part is that the portfolio of these 24 universities includes all these four university classification that I mentioned. So talking about ancient universities like Oxford and Cambridge and Edinburgh, they are the part of Russell Group universities. Talking about red brick universities, all 6 of them that I mentioned before, they are the part of Russell Group universities. Then we have some of the civic universities as well, and a couple of new universities as well in the Russell Group university. So this, I know the classification has gone a bit long, but it's really important for you to understand that in which way the universities are classified. And now if you sit and figure out that which one is the best for you, I think you should be easily able to do that, considering what kind of infrastructure the university is offering, what kind of historical value the university carries, and does that align with your overall objective of being in the country and pursuing the higher education. So that the job is a lot more easier, I feel. So I think the classification is complete.